which he spent hours trying to find, causing him to have a really bad meltdown. I was devastated. He and his mom are so important to me. He is my nephew. He and Kaya used to play together, so she knows him very well and knows how vulnerable he is. Kaya was staying with me at the time. She said she was teaching him about the real world, and in the real world, people like him don't get invited to parties. I told Kaya this was exactly the behavior that made her mom so dangerous. I said that I was ashamed to have raised her, that I was done with her, and that I never wanted to see her again. I packed her stuff, then drove her to the boarding school. When we got there she started crying, begging me to change my mind. I explained to the staff at the school that I was not her legal guardian and that I'd found out she had been abusing a disabled family member, and she could not stay with me anymore. Then I left her there. She has been texting me sporadically, sometimes angry and abusive, occasionally apologetic, but I told her I needed time to process what she had done. The last time I spoke to Kaya, she said I must be gutted that my meal ticket was gone. She thought that I was paid to care for her, which might explain why she never saw me as her stepdad. So I told her I was never paid a penny by her very wealthy grandparents. I know she is a child, and I promised my fiancé I would always care for her, but I cannot reconcile with what she did or who she has become. I am still so deeply hurt and can't imagine ever being able to forgive this. Update. Thank you for all your responses. Going no contact is not what I want, and I regret considering it. I love Kaya, but she needs to determine what she wants moving forward. I have arranged a mediated meeting at the school between all parties, and we will consider some of the recommendations here, including restorative justice and a psychiatrist. Final update. So the mediation happened and surprisingly, everything has worked out. Firstly, my neighbor's son is doing well. He's recently started a D&D group and has been making friends there. I did discuss restorative justice with him, but he said he doesn't want anything to do with Kaya again and isn't interested in reading her apology letter. He did say that Kaya was more of a friend than a bully, just a bad friend and a manipulative person. He recommended I ask her grandparents to throw her a bat mitzvah, which I didn't even know she wanted. Secondly, the psychiatrist who assessed Kaya determined that her behavior was within the realms of a normal child acting out under the circumstances of her childcare situation. So, it's not BPD at present. Thirdly, the origin of the help has been identified. About 4 years ago, Kaya's grandparents watched the movie The Help, and Kaya's grandpa started calling me that as a joke, mostly to wind up his wife, but unfortunately, leading Kaya to think I was a paid nanny, not her loving stepdad. Kaya also asked her mom if I was paid to care for her the following summer. Kaya's mom said I probably was. For context, Kaya's mom receives a generous allowance from her parents and said she just assumed I did too. She does work, but intermittently, due to her BPD, and the money she earns is more like pocket money. It doesn't pay for her lifestyle. Fourthly, Kaya's grandpa told her 2 years ago that he'd buy her a flat nearby if she ever came to live with them. He meant that he didn't want her to live with them, but she took it that he was promising to buy her her own flat when she was old enough. Kaya said that as she went to boarding school, she is pretty mature for her age, although I don't agree given the bullying and the behavior she's shown to me, but she wants her grandparents to buy her a flat when she finishes school. She did explain that she goes to this fancy private school with all these rich kids and so then having to stay with me every weekend break or holiday instead of her mom or her grandparents, who are much wealthier, always felt like a punishment. She has said that she did learn to see me as a paid nanny, that it wasn't just racism, but that she does feel like she doesn't know why I would still be in her life now. I explained that she used to be my daughter, and were her father still alive, she would have been raised by both of us, like she was as a kid. She said she's honestly got very mixed feelings toward me, and she thinks her grandpa's attitude toward me influenced her a lot. I told her I was disappointed in her. She had spent so much of her life with me, and so little time with him. Although he is very rich and generous with his money, I think he uses it to minimize how much time he has to spend with his daughter and granddaughter. Kaya believes he is just distant because of his own complicated family history, which may be true. Kaya's grandparents have also agreed to throw her a bat mitzvah when she finishes school. I don't know much about bat mitzvahs, but apparently, they're supposed to happen a lot younger and are a ceremony about taking responsibility for your actions, so that's fitting. The biggest benefit of the meditation is that I got to spend a lot of time with Kaya's mom, who I haven't seen in person for years. We got on very well and even went for dinner one evening and even reminisced about Kaya's dad, which was really cathartic. The school's headmistress was also fantastic, facilitating the mediation in a fair and unbiased way that put Kaya first. I see how going to private school has given her many opportunities I could never provide. I did discuss going no contact with Kaya if she wanted that. I explained the toll of her racism towards me, and how targeting a trans person because they are trans is legally recognized as a hate crime. If my neighbor's son had chosen to go to the police, this could be a lot worse. She did other stuff that I won't go into but would definitely be considered criminal. Hate crimes have much higher consequences, so we had a serious talk about the potential legal consequences if she ever does anything like this again. She also knows the circumstances that led me to be estranged from my bio family and said she doesn't want estrangement from me, but she just wants to live on her own now, and live the kind of life other kids at her school do. Her grandparents will give her a monthly allowance when she finishes school, but she will be expected to work. She has already arranged an internship with the aunt of a school friend at an art gallery that she is really excited about. Her grandma has also suggested we all celebrate Christmas/Hanukkah together next year and make more of an effort to be a family together instead of separate strands. Kaya has asked me to help her choose her new flat too when she finishes school. So all in all I think everything is resolved as best as possible.